Hi, this is Steph with Belladonna Dyes, and today we're going to make a heart scrunch ice dye. The very first thing we want to do is center our shirt. So using a washable marker, I find the center at the top, and how I find the center at the bottom is by bringing the two edges together, and where they meet in the middle, I make a dot with my washable marker, and that is the center of the shirt. So for this particular shirt, I want the heart only on the front, not on the back. So I pinch the dot at the top and I pinch the dot at the bottom and I shake it out, isolating the front of the shirt. So the back of the shirt is all that stuff that's at the top of the screen, and everything that's at the bottom is the front of the shirt. Using my washable marker and my stencil, I mark out my heart. And then I'm going to pleat fold starting at the bottom of the shirt. It does seem to be a lot easier if you start at the bottom, because then you're able to make the curve of the heart a lot easier, but just do whatever works for you. So when I make my hearts, I use sinew. That's going to create that white line and give the definition to the heart. And you want to wrap it around 2 or 3 times and then pull it really tight. And then wrap it around a couple more times and pull it even tighter. You want to pull it so tight that your knuckles turn white. That's how tight I pull on the sinew. Now it's time to work on the rest of the shirt, and for this pattern, we're just going to do a simple scrunch. So up by the heart, you want to sort of unfold those pleats, the best that you can, and then just scrunch away. So for those of you that have been watching my videos, you know how much I love rubber bands. This is just a simple scrunch, and rubber bands are just really easy to use, but you could use kite string here if you wanted to. You could even use sinew and wrap it up if you wanted to achieve some white lines in your scrunch. It really is just a matter of personal preference. I decided to wrap a rubber band around the heart, and that's just to create a little more tightness to the fabric. That way when the dye and the ice are on it, it might create sort of like a ripple or a pattern inside the heart instead of it just being all one solid color. So I'm going to use these flexible cake molds that I got off Amazon, and I have a link for them down below in the description box, along with pretty much everything that I use for tie-dye. And I did get this idea from Fun Endeavors Tie-Dye Lab, and if you haven't seen her videos already, I suggest you check them out. I'm sure most of you have watched her videos because they're great, but if you haven't, head on over and take a look at what she has to offer. I'm adding the dye using these disposable spoons, but I do not dispose of my spoons. I rinse them out in the sink and then I put them in the dishwasher, and then when they're dry, I just put them back in the box and reuse them. I really try to reuse just about everything that I have for tie-dye for 2 reasons. One, to save the planet, and then secondly, this is a very expensive hobby, And so I don't want to have to buy things twice if I don't have to. Continue to randomly place your dye on the scrunch portion of the shirt, just layering it up. When you feel like you have it all in place, with these cake molds, they're going to push out when I go to add the ice, so I'm going to use clothespins to secure it to the rack. So now it's time to add the ice. And you may notice that I didn't do the sprinkle of soda ash before I put down the ice. The shirt did soak in soda ash prior to folding it up. I'm not sure that the second layer of soda ash is necessarily necessary. After several hours and the ice had melted, I checked the bottom of the shirt and it did not have great saturation. So I flipped it over, and now I'm going to sprinkle it with soda ash. The reason being, I'm going to be adding more ice and pushing more liquid through it, so I want to make sure that I have soda ash to react with the dye and the fabric. I'm going to reapply the dye the same way I did the first time, and then add the ice and let it melt. After all the ice melts, that's when you start the clock. That's when you start batching for your 24 hours. After the 24 hours, it's time for the rinse out. And as always, start by using cold water. That's going to rinse out any soda ash that might still be reacting within the shirt, and then gradually increase the water up to hot and rinse until the water runs clear. From here, I put it in the washing machine on a hot water cycle. I do a second hot water cycle using Synthropol, which is a textile detergent. And then I do a third hot water cycle using Milsoft or Downy to bring softness back into the shirt, and it makes it smell good too. And then we put it in the dryer and we come back and we see our results. So here it is, guys. Here's our shirt after it's been washed and dried, and I think it's a pretty little shirt. The heart turned out really nice. We have some good definition. That white line is created by the sinew. And then the scrunch pattern has some pretty pink colors. The bubble gum got lost a little bit there. I see some of it, but those darker colors really can overpower a shirt, and I probably added a little too much. But overall, I think it's a really cute little shirt. What do you guys think? Go ahead and leave me some comments down below. Thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe, leave a thumbs up, and click the bell for future notifications. And remember, have fun tie-dyeing.